later. All right, there we go. So girls did go to school. I know sometimes you see that, well, girls learn how to take care of the home and things like that, and you say, well, the girls aren't going to school. Well, they actually were. Oh, it's just a school where they learned how to be a wife, how to be a mama, how to cook, how to sew, how to care for children. And it's kind of interesting because these are things that until recently were actually in the educational system. When I was in middle school in New York, I learned sewing, and there was a class we took called home ec, and just how to actually go and be able to do those kind of things that you need to be able to do. So they one of the things they're also going to be trained on is how to do textile work. And you have to remember that it's not like today where, Saya wants to get a shirt, or she wants to get a shirt for her family, and then she just goes to the store and buys it. They made their own clothes. So they had to learn how to be able to make those textiles and to do those things. So, yep. So girls from all classes went to this school. And I don't have the name of the girls' school. So let's see if I can find Aztec Girls' School. What was it called? Huh. So weird. I have all the boys' school names and not the girls' school names. Sorry, girls. All right. Now, if you were wealthy, you got to go to Talmagek. And that, of course, is going to be the noble school where you learn how to go and be a general, a warrior, a noble. So you're going to go and get skills such as writing, skills looking at the law. You're going to go and also learn about religion, building, interpreting dreams. I mean, it's a pretty varied education, which is pretty awesome that they have it. Now, once again, this is going to be similar. We're going to see more similarities to the Spartans. And girls actually had to face this too. So I don't think you're getting off easy, girls. Regularly, teachers would abuse and torture and humiliate their students. And that was just kind of thought to toughen them up. Like if they found an embarrassing thing out about Simon, for example, when his mommy told me all sorts of embarrassing things about him, since I am Mr. Kenny, and this isn't true, Simon, by the way. I'm kidding.
As soon as you said my name, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, since it's me and we are in 2021 and I care about you and love you, I did not share all those things that you're embarrassing that your mom didn't actually tell me, but I'm using you for an example. But if I were an Aztec back then, it would be written right there on the chalkboard, be like, guess who pee-peed their pants the other day? And then everyone would be like, oh, someone pee-peed. And it'd be like, it was Simon, which he really didn't, guys. So don't start saying Simon pee-peed his pants. Although we've all done it. Just not lately, hopefully. So, yeah, they would embarrass them. Like if Matt got something wrong, instead of just me being like, oh, try again, Matt, or you can do it, it would be walk over and slap him in the face. So not very nice for school with how they had it. But once again, they thought this would toughen them up. This would make them better warriors. So we see lots of similarities with Sparta in this kind of idea. But we see, unlike Sparta, their educations were very varied with the kind of things they learned. And it makes sense because the Aztecs, they focused on war, but they were obviously incredible engineers and architects to be able to do what they did. Now, we get the regular people, Topokali. Now, this is twofold. First off, they want you to learn how to slice and dice. And secondly, they want you to be able to learn how to farm. They want you to be able to grow their food and to defend their empire. And once again, like Sparta, so you would stay at these schools often. They were boarding schools. and you're given just like a little tiny blanket. You're given like rock hard bread. Like I love this little picture where the guy, he's got a hammer trying to break apart his bread there. And so the whole idea, once again, was to make them tougher, to make them stronger. So they would be tough and cruel to these boys as well. They would go and beat them, not give them much food, try to humiliate, to punish them, things like that. One of the things you'll notice too is they taught manners, and they actually had that in the other school too. But they would teach you how to act in particular social situations, which is also something that used to be in the educational world, where people would actually like learn things like how to set a dining room table properly, and what salad fork to use, and complicated, fancy stuff like that. And something that I think is really cool, they learned singing and dancing as well. Hooray. Although they probably didn't have like ominous versions of their history songs as opposed to just the regular upbeat one. Any questions or comments thus far? Okay, so if not, we will move on. Just love all that exposed brick in your house. It's so cool looking. All right. Now, one of the things that is kind of cool, and this is actually something that some parts of the world still do, is, well, and I guess technically we do with our college system and all that stuff, is you get job specialization with your education. And that means you learn like a specific skill and you learn how to do it really well. So, for example, myself, I went to high school and learned stuff. And from high school on, I was a freshman in high school when I went up to my world history teacher, Mrs. Kelbaugh, and said, Ms. Kelbaugh, I want to be a history teacher when I grow up. What do I have to do? And I still remember the shocked look on her face and the confusion. And she was like, take these history classes and maybe talk to someone when you're like a senior. Because I was a freshman and I knew what I wanted to do. Before that, I thought I wanted to be a music teacher. And then I thought I wouldn't be good enough at music. So then I went to college. And because I was one of the few people in college who knew exactly what he wanted to do entering college, from the beginning, I took all my education courses and all the things I had to do. So training. So I took lots of history classes and lots of education classes. So then I went and graduated college. And then I got a teaching job not long after that, teaching history, which made me really happy because that's what I specialized in. But then I wanted to get even more specialized in history. So then I took graduate work and took all these grad classes on how to learn more, on knowing more history so I could be a better expert. I'm specializing in this job. Then Mr. Kenny decided, why not go crazy? And then he basically did a whole other master's program and now has it where he can go and like be a principal if I want. So I can learn more on the education end. So I could be more specialized in learning about teaching and how to help teachers. So that's the same kind of idea with these Aztecs, job specialization, because the Aztecs could not have built a city on a swamp, if they hadn't had experts in engineering. They couldn't have protected themselves against all of the floods if they didn't have experts in figuring out dams and levees and all of that kind of stuff. It's one of these things that the Aztecs created incredible things. The Aztecs had great medicine because they had people specialize in medicine. They could read the stars, not with telescopes or all the technology we have today, but just by looking. Like they would go into their observatories, which were literally like domes with a couple holes in the ceiling, and they like, oh yes, there's Venus going and doing like with their plain eyes without any telescope. It's incredible. It's good stuff. So that is the Aztec look on education. One of the great things we see is that it was for all people. Like I said, from age 6 on, they are going and getting this schooling. I am stopping the recording now. Are there any questions